As you know, I'm a simple man. Not as simple as you, obviously, but still, there are times when the issues of the day grow too complex for me to comprehend. And in those moments, when I feel lost and confused, then, just like you, I look for answers in the wisdom and moral insight of men like Hunter Biden. For example, take the recent controversies over illegal immigration. In my charming, dimple-cheeked innocence, I always thought, hey, no one is above the law. Illegal immigrants have broken the law. ICE is authorized to enforce the law. So what's the problem? But then I consult the wisdom of Hunter Biden, who recently said, quote, and this is a real quote, "People are really upset about illegal immigration? F you. How do you think you have food on your effing table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your effing garden?" Unquote. And of course, when I realized it was illegal immigrants who put food on our tables and wash our dishes and tend our gardens, I immediately had my wife deported. But Hunter Biden is not our only source of political wisdom in this crazy world. We can also turn to Hollywood actors, because surely, if Hunter Biden's life is an example of probity to us all, then Hollywood actors have many important ideas. Jeff Daniels, for instance, is an actor so talented he can make even the most implausible characters seem vividly real, like when he played James Comey as an honest man. A shallow observer like myself, or even a shallower observer like yourself, might look at the second Trump administration and see massive tax cuts, secure borders so my wife can't sneak back into the country, billions in tariff revenues, low inflation, no nuclear weapons for Islamists who believe the end of days will come just as soon as they get nuclear weapons, and you might think, wow, I'm sure glad I voted for Donald Trump. But not Jeff Daniels. Jeff says, and once again, I'm not making this up. In fact, I couldn't make this up. He says, quote, "I still think about Kamala and how I think she would have been a good choice because she would have done what Lincoln did." Unquote. And how can anyone disagree when you remember Lincoln at Gettysburg when he said, quote, "At what point do we uplift and highlight the consumer's right to expect that the innovation would also be weighted in terms of solving their everyday problems, which are beyond my craving for Doritos?" Which Lincoln followed with that unbearable, high-pitched, cackling laughter of his. Well, that might have been Kamala. I get them confused because Jeff Daniels can't tell the difference. And finally, after you've consulted Hunter Biden and after you've studied the political thought of Hollywood actors, you can always turn to the searing insights of corporate comedians like Jon Stewart, who responded to the cancellation of fellow corporate comedian Stephen Colbert by saying, quote, and once again, these are Stewart's exact words, quote, "Go F yourself. Go F yourself. FFF yourself. Go F yourself." Unquote. Now, friends, that kind of witty commentary on the news of the day demonstrates the wisdom of having every single comedian hosting a corporation's television show hold the exact same political opinions as every other comedian hosting a corporation's television show. Because if comedians with left-wing opinions are not entitled to monopolize every single corporate comedy job in show business, that would mean that corporations should hire comedians with a range of opinions wide enough to entertain an audience large enough that their corporate employers won't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on network shows that get their asses kicked in the ratings by Greg Gutfeld on cable. So, in conclusion, if you ever find yourself lost on the winding road of life, remember, you only have to turn to an entitled, overpaid midwit spouting the received opinions of the Democrat Party as if that were an act of daring or intelligence, and then you will truly know where our elites want the rest of us to go and what they want us to do to ourselves when we get there. For more Klavan-y magnificence, like and subscribe, and for even more, subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.